friends. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Cece. My husband and I homestead in the big beautiful state of Montana, and we like to show people how they can put food on the table no matter what happens. So tonight we are going to do a full roasted chicken. This was a chicken we raised and butchered ourselves last year. I think I only have one more left in the freezer. So I want to show you guys how I basically roast the whole chicken, and then once it's done, hopefully Kirk will be home by then and can actually cut it, because I'm still not super great at it. I'm still learning, but he pretty much knows how to cut a chicken into parts, and that's the same method we would do if I was going to cut it now, where I'm talking about taking the legs off, the wings off, you know, the breasts off and that kind of thing. So first thing is, obviously this was frozen. I got it out several hours ago. I also have my oven on broil right now, kind of heating up. Somebody taught me a trick and it works really good. If you want the skin to kind of get a little bit crispy, you do that at the very beginning when everything is raw, and you kind of brown the skin up, and then you can let it go. He's still just a tiny little bit frozen, I feel. That's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and lay him in my, that's the breast. Lay him in my cast iron. I did go ahead and melt a little bit of butter ahead of time. This is my butter. I'm gonna take a sharp knife, and I'm just going to randomly kind of create a hole into some pieces of the breast. I just kind of lift the skin and stick my knife down in there. I'm going to take another clean knife, so I'm not ever actually touching the butter with chicken fingers. I'm just going to take a chunk of butter and just kind of stuff it down in there between the skin and the breast. Kind of just allows it to soften up a little. Take some other chunks and kind of stick them in here. Kind of pull the legs apart a little. Do that just a little bit more. Just kind of butter them up, because let's be honest, butter is always a good thing. I'm going to stick some butter here between the wings, and I'm also going to just stick some kind of in the cavity there. And I'm going to wash my hands real quick, and then we're going to put some seasonings on it. Okay, I'm going to start off. Basically, you can do whatever seasonings you want. I have a little bit of garlic powder here. Just kind of sprinkle everything in. A little bit of lemon pepper. I also kind of just pour some straight into the cast iron as well, so I feel like that gets the underside of it. And then just some regular salt. Okay, and obviously my oven beat that it is preheated for the broil, so I'm going to just leave the lid off of him, and you can kind of see the butter sticking up between the skin, and just kind of coated him up. Stick him in here. Don't have it very close to the top burner, so I think I'm just going to let it go for 5 minutes or so. Take a peek at him, make sure the skin is just turning brown and I'm not accidentally burning him. So, okay, let's see if we are browning up at all. Okay, we are still very far from browning, so I'm going to let him go. The way he looks, probably another 10 minutes. Okay, the 10 minutes are not quite up, but I wanted to check on him, and I'm glad I did, because you can see he's starting to burn. So, I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to try to pick him up and rotate him so the other side gets crispy too. Alright, we'll let him finish out the 5 minutes on that side. Okay, we only have about a minute left but I keep checking on it because I really don't want it to burn. And it's starting to crisp up, you know, pretty nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to flip it back because I want the breasts up. Oh, come on. Okay, and just for good measure, throw a little bit more butter on the bottom of him. I'm going to take my lid now, put it on, and turn it down to about 350 for an hour. Okay, Kirk was running just a little bit late, so I ended up turning the chicken down. Typically, I put it in the oven for about an hour on 350. Now, if you don't have an hour, or you don't have that kind of time, you can always put it in the crock pot. This is what she looks like. I'm just gonna let this sit here for a little bit. Another way of being able to know that it is completed, I don't know if you can see that, the meat is kind of starting to pull off the bone there just a little bit, and the skin is kind of pulling back and tight. So she is done. In fact, I might leave the lid off just to let it cool off just a touch so we can pick it up and cut it up. Meanwhile, the rest of supper is some homemade canned green beans. I have some tomatoes cut up and I'm going to mash here in just a little bit. And because there is a lot of juice in here with the chicken, I think I'm going to go ahead and try to do a gravy. Alright, so Kirk did come home in time and he is going to show us how to cut a whole chicken.
So first of all, I just cut the leg and the thigh off at the same time. It's easier. And you want to just cut in way as far as you can. There's a joint. See, it cuts in.
Is it done?
Easy, yeah.
Okay.
It's as far in there as you can is where the joint is. Then on this part, if you just like line up the leg straight, then you can find the joint in it. You get the drumstick and the thigh that way. This side, just make a cut so that it separates, and then just line up your knife with the side of the chicken and cut in as far as you can. You gotta get around that bone right there. Cut in as far as you can. Line up with the leg, and you find the joint right there. Now on the wing, same thing. Cut in there as far as you can, because then you'll hit the joint. Sometimes it's a little hard to find, but there it is. See, it's two wing pieces. Oh, that one's broke. See, that's the upper part of the wing. Just cut in towards the breast there as far as you can. That's where the joint is. Breast. So there's a bone, there's a cartilage piece right down the center. So what I do is just kind of find that with your knife and follow it to one side, and then you just use your knife to peel back. Sometimes it's pretty hot, but you just peel that breast right off like that. That's one. See, that bone runs all along right there in the center, so you can put your knife on one side of it and then just curl your knife to the side, and it peels the breast right off. just like that. And there you have it.
Now I'm left with a back that I may save whenever I want to do chicken broth, because there's still a lot of meat on there.
Yep. That's really hard to get off, so it's more better to just make a soup out of it or whatever.
So it's pretty much the same way if you want to do it if it's raw chicken. It's just the breast doesn't like to peel off as nice when it's raw.
Yeah.
Right? But the concept is still the same. So,
Yep.
Okay, and then there are our pieces. And I have some gravy going over there. I gotta mash the potatoes yet. The green beans are over there. And this is our chicken dinner for tonight.